Okay, before we get going and talking about last year and moving into the new 2026 year, you may have noticed that my YouTube channel name has changed once again. It's back to Today's Shopsmith with Michael Young. When Shopsmith closed its doors in October, I temporarily changed the channel name out of respect, really, for the uncertainty of that moment and to avoid confusion while things were, I guess you say, being resolved, while we were looking for a new owner. With Shopsmith now moving forward under new ownership, it just felt appropriate to return to the original name. Because today's Shopsmith has always been about real sharing, practical knowledge about the equipment, practical knowledge about the projects that we're doing, the projects that we're actually doing, and really about the community around the system as it exists today. And really that purpose has never changed. Along with the name change, I'm also back to my original email address, myoung@shopsmith.com. I had to change that to, shopsmithmike@gmail.com. Again, out of uncertainty. Wasn't certain if the website was going to remain, and also if the email server was going to stay the same. So just so that communication would not be interrupted, I did change the email name also. And that's still a good email address, shopsmithmike@gmail.com, but I prefer to use the myoung@shopsmith.com, okay? Bringing back the name to the channel, the original Today's Shopsmith name, and returning to the original email. It just reflects, I'd say, continuity, respect for what came before, and cautious optimism about what comes next. Also today, I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to show you how to change roller bearings in your bandsaw. And there's no effort to that if you've ever done it. There's nothing to it. You need a 3/8" wrench, and that's about it. What I'm actually showing you is the bearings that I found on a website called bandsawparts.com. We had some discussions over the last, 2 months really, about where we're going to find replacement parts on some of these types of consumable items. Anything from, like I say, the roller bearings for the bandsaw to saw blades with the 1 1/4" hole, dado cutters, inserts, couplers, things like that. So I found these roller bearings, like I say, on bandsawparts.com. I just want to see if they're equal to, superior to, or inferior to what I used to sell all of you people for around, the last bunch I sold was around $27.99. The ones I'm replacing my bandsaw with now are, like I say, on this website, they cost around $19. All right, so take a watch of this. If you've never changed the roller bearings in your bandsaw, you know to do that when the bandsaw starts to howl at you. You get this awful howling noise. The bandsaw still cuts beautifully, but you just have this noise ringing in your ears. If you got that howling, it's time to change the roller bearings. So take a watch of this, and then we'll move on once I get those bearings changed out. So let me get the bandsaw set up here, and I'll quickly show you how to go about changing out the roller bearings. Obviously, you got to take your dust cover off. Okay. The machine is not hooked up to the headstock. But you got 3 different areas you got to change out. This is the easy one. You got one right there at the blade, very important one. And there's one underneath. Now here are the bearings that I bought from bandsawparts.com. They look the same. When I put them together, looks like the sizes are all exactly the same too. So that's good news. So I went ahead and changed that easy set, the one at the back. And this one here needs changed out. They just screw in with a 3/8 inch, 3/8. Use the 3/8 inch wrench to get that loose. I guess the tricky one is the one right below the table, just in the fact that it's hard to get to. Boy, look at that thing. That's all crudded up there pretty good. But once you get those changed out, the real test, of course, is did it quiet the bandsaw down and do they work? Like I say, as far as size and diameters and what have you, seem to be exactly the same as I used to sell everybody. It looks good. Everything's lined up well. Make sure you get the tension right on that bandsaw. Got a 1/4 inch blade in there. So, the real test, let's fire it up. Here we go. Bring the speed down a little bit to start out with. Come on. Come on. There we go. Drop her down to, yeah, 990 is good. Hit on and she's up and running. Sounds really, really good. Very quiet, no howling noise. Looks like I got the cover off. Always like to check, make sure the blade is tracking properly. Important note, all your bandsaw blades need to track just like this 1/4 inch blade. The back of that blade tracking right where you see this one at, near the back side of the wheel itself. Nice. So it worked. So I'll have to assume that Shopsmith will go back to selling their own roller bearings. We'll have to wait and see. Like I say, a lot of question marks on what will be available and what have you. Talk about that a little bit later. So over the past year, one of the most consistent and encouraging things I saw was just how much work got done across this community. People built furniture, tables, benches, cabinets, shelving. Shops were reorganized and rebuilt. New shop spaces came online. Old ones were improved. And tools finally moved from storage into daily use. Cabinets were hung, storage systems were built, and workspaces became more functional and personal, I guess you'd say. What stood out wasn't just the volume of projects, really, but the range of projects. Different skill levels, different goals, different spaces, and yet the same shared willingness to learn, to adapt, and keep building. Even as uncertainty started to creep in later in the year, October, people didn't stop creating. That says a lot about this community. With all of that said, I had the chance, of course, to work through a number of my own projects, each one reinforcing why this system works the way it does. The camper van build, y'all remember that? This pushed versatility and problem solving to the forefront. Limited space, limited time, changing constraints, constant adaptation. Exactly the kind of project benefits from having one system that can shift roles as fast as the work demands. Then there was the patio furniture project. Hot. This was a different project altogether. More traditional, more about repetition, accuracy, and finish. And then there were the Christmas elves, my very last project of the year. Now, these kind of projects lean more into creativity and enjoyment rather than utility, but they're just as satisfying to complete, if not more. Each project was different this year, but they all pointed back to the same idea. Tools matter, but the mindset matters even more. And that mindset is something this community consistently brings to the work. So, throughout the year, up until a few months before the end of the year, I was still plugging along doing what I always have done for Shopsmith. I had very substantial sales throughout much of the year. Instead, our interest stayed really high. People were still buying, still upgrading, still choosing to invest in their systems, right up until the doors closed in October. And that matters, not as a sales statistic, but as a sign of belief. Even during the uncertain moments, people still, they still trusted me, and they certainly trusted in the value of what Shopsmith makes possible. Then came October, yes. The closure of the company was unsettling. For many people, and I've mentioned this in the past, Shopsmith isn't just equipment. It's something they've built skills around, they've built confidence around, and they've built their own identities around. When things stopped, it wasn't just operations that paused, it was trust, continuity, and a sense of a shared direction. But that pause also made something clear. The real value of Shopsmith doesn't live in a building or a warehouse. It lives in the people. It lives in shared knowledge, shared lived experiences, and the community that has formed all around this product for what, 75 years. So those things didn't disappear. This year also, I hate to bring this up, but you have to. This year also brought loss within the broader, I guess, say, Shopsmith and woodworking community. We lost teachers, mentors, educators, craftspeople, people who shared what they knew generously and helped others grow with patience and care. Out of that very same group, I lost some very important people that were very close to me. Big Bill C. He was my partner for many, many years at really the largest events across the country. He was, excuse me, he was always the most positive person I've ever met. Never saw him have a bad day. Think about that. Always fun to be around. Knew how to present the machine, how to sell the machine, and was about the smartest man I ever met. He was my closest friend. I can say that honestly. Then there was Colonel Bob. Originally a customer of mine, going way back. But eventually I hired him as a Shopsmith sales rep, and he was a good one at that. He gave me the nickname early on, I don't know why, the nickname of Spanky. And for whatever reason it stuck. All the reps called me Spanky. And at first I didn't really like it, but now I kind of miss it. Anyway, woodworking has always been about passing things down, skills, habits, ways of seeing problems. So when we lose people who carried that knowledge, their absence is definitely felt. It shows up in the work that continues, the techniques that get reused, and of course the confidence others carry forward because of what these people taught and how they shared that with us. So this moment is simply to acknowledge them and to say, thanks Bill, thanks Bob, thanks all of you. There was something else this year I should mention too. It stayed with me, and it always has. And it happens every year. I heard from wives, from sons, grandsons, people reaching out to tell me that they had lost someone who had mattered deeply to them. And what they shared again and again wasn't just the loss, but how much this work, this tool, this community that we have had meant in their lives. They told me about time spent together in the shop, about skills passed down, about a Shopsmith that wasn't just a machine, but a place where relationships were built, confidence was gained, and memories were made. Very important, memories were made. Hearing that was pretty humbling, always has been. It reinforced that what happens here goes beyond projects and equipment. It reaches families. It carries forward across many generations. So, looking ahead to 2026, now with the reopening coming under new ownership, there's cautious optimism, but very hopeful optimism. Reopening isn't just about turning the lights back on, it's an opportunity to decide what gets carried forward and what gets protected and what gets rebuilt with the intention. As for where I might fit moving forward, that's still an open question. But this year reinforced something also important to me. Roles that connect product knowledge, education, community, and trust matter deeply. They're not optional, they're foundational. Whatever the next chapter looks like for me, those elements will shape whether it's simply operational or truly sustainable. Kind of interesting, huh? Now here's something fun that I want to do for the rest of the holiday weekend. Listen carefully. Over the next few days, I'm going to be collecting orders. I'm going to take your orders, which will actually be expressions of interest, and from those of you who want to show that you're ready to support Shopsmith again. I want to be very clear about what this means and what it does not mean. These orders will not be processed right now. I'm not even taking any form of payments, and nothing will be charged or shipped, obviously. This is about demonstrating real, tangible support to the new ownership and new team as they come together and begin deciding how the company will move forward. As a reference point, any pricing associated with these orders I'm going to base them on the pricing structure that we had prior to the company's October closure. Final pricing, availability, and the shipping details will ultimately be confirmed by the new ownership team as these plans are all finalized. When the going forward team does convene, I'm confident we'll work through the remaining details, things like product availability, shipping, timelines, all that. We'll get that all ironed out. Until those decisions are complete, though, these orders will simply be saved by me as expressions of intent. Once everything is clear and finalized, I will personally reach back out to anyone who submitted an order here this weekend to confirm whether you still wanted to proceed or you want to proceed. At that point, you'll have the opportunity to say yes or no, and you'll have all the information you need on hand. This approach gives the new ownership, really, I think, a clear picture of community interest, while also respecting you as customers by not asking for money or commitments before the path forward is actually defined. If you've been waiting for a way to show your support during this transition, this is one way to do that, both thoughtfully, respectfully, and without any pressure. So, in closing, this is a long video. This year reminded me that Shopsmith isn't defined by a single project, a single year, or even a single business cycle. It's really defined by the people who, actually use the product, who build with it. Those who shared their work, asked questions, helped each other, and kept creating even when things felt pretty doggone uncertain, huh? As we move into the next year, my hope is that what comes next honors the past, obviously, learns from the pause, and builds forward with really a clear picture and a lot of care. So, for the past year, thanks for being a part of my life. Thanks to all of you for letting me help you, and thanks for your continued support. With that, I'll say, have a great, happy New Year, and a upcoming happy 2026. Before you do get away, again, if you want to order today, or through the weekend, you got to email me, just like we did before. Email me at myoung@shopsmith.com, right there. Leave your phone number, and I'll give you a call. We can talk one-on-one, the good old-fashioned way, all right? So, till I talk to some of you, again, Happy New Year.